Alright, what is up guys? Jewelers here back with yet another video. This is the beginning of the top 145 Mario Kart courses of all time. Obviously we have 14 courses for episode 1, 15 for episode 2, and we're alternating 14 and 15 all the way until episode 10 once we get to track number 1. But we are starting with the lowest of the low. This is going to be the usual unscripted madness, so we'll see if it goes properly. I played every track enough times to be able to get an understanding of them, but let us get right into it. Number 145, nothing new, Donut Plains 3 from Super Mario Kart. Obviously, it's just, I think me and this track honestly have something, we have some sort of beef together, some sort of grind that we just really hate each other, or I mean, at least I hate the track. I don't know if the track hates me, but I definitely hate the track by the way it's been treating me. It's just either I'm pretty bad at the Super Mario Kart game for the SNES, or I really don't know what's up. But it's just ever since seeing that little lake jump in the middle of the game and back before I didn't know how to jump with this game, this has always been my least favorite track for a reason. The Monty Moles in the corner, as you could see, messes you up all the time. I still don't even know how to get the Monty Moles off your cart, if it's even possible to do that. So you're always stuck right there, and obviously if you mess it up, you can always turn sharply into the water, and then there's just no recovery right there. So that is Donut Plains 3. You really can't get any worse than that. But number 144, another horrible track in my opinion, Yoshi Desert from GBA, yeah, the Game Boy Advance Super Mario Kart Super Circuit. Oh my god. Yeah, this has been my second to least favorite track for the, I think, the third time in a row now. Just like Donut Plains 3 has been my least favorite track for the third time in a row. You know, I just don't know what I dislike about this track. There's I think it's just because it has so many good tracks around it in the same cup, and I just skipped a part of the track right there. As you can see, we skipped two parts of the track because, you know, but the first part of the track you have to like stop and turn around, so it's hardly even useful. You have the piranha plant sticking out from the side of the track that if you drift a little oddly, then they'll come out and get you, and the boost panels sometimes aren't even helpful, as you saw right there. It just rams you into the wall. Maybe I'm just bad at the game. I mean, I'm usually okay at the game, but when it comes to this track, I don't know. I just have bad memory of this track, playing this as a kid, always failing so hard to get first place, and it always ruins it because there are so many good other tracks in the Star Cup, but this one just ruins it all, coming right before Bowser Castle 3 in the Star Cup, and that is why it is at number 144. We are entering number 143, another Super Nintendo track, Bowser Castle 3. This is the first time I think this track has ever been down this far on the list, and for good reasons too. This track is extremely narrow. I think it is the narrowest of all the tracks in every single Mario Kart game out there. That little jump section is not bad, but once you get through this hallway, things start just getting messed up. You have three little passageways to go through with corridors that are open on each side. You could either choose path A, B, or C. But then lap 1's not so bad, but then you enter lap 2, and then the thwomps are just utter madness. As you can see, you could get stuck behind a thwomp, and that's not even the worst one. Once you enter this little hallway, all four thwomps could be on the floor at one time, and if you make it to the swamps at the wrong time, you are stuck there for a while. And trust me, when you're using someone like Donkey Kong Jr., it is near impossible to get your acceleration back, and then there goes your time trial. So this track has not been nice to me in the recent years. Obviously, you never take this path when playing a GP, but there is that track. I've started hating it the more I've played it, especially when trying to complete the game 100%. But now we enter track 142, our first Mario Kart 7 track, Cheep Cheep Lagoon. This track is just super bland for me. I really don't know why. It's more on the boring side, coming right after Daisy Hills and before Shy Guy Bazaar. Not a very powerful Mushroom Cup in my opinion, but this track just ruins it all because, you know, I know the track is supposed to show off the underwater mechanics because this game, Mario Kart 7, was the first to do so, and yes, it does a very good job of it because it lets you go underwater for a while. But with this narrow path on the left and pretty much nothing on the right, I mean, I take this left path so many times I don't even know what's on the right side. except for that, you know, the one time I played it so I could record it for you guys. But then you have that small little grass cut, and that's pretty much it when it comes to shortcuts. Here you go, I'm about to showcase the right side and utterly fail for it because it's been that long since I played it. You got a little bit of crabs down there. Besides that, it's just utter nothingness. You got some boost panels up top that you could trick off of once you're getting on the land. Other than that, just some grass and plains. You don't really got much of a track. I just never felt good to me when playing it. So now we're at 141, our first N64 track. Trust me, not our last on this list. Or on this video, I should actually say. N64 Calamari Desert. Oh my god, this track. I can understand why people would like it for like the nostalgia sake, but I grew in the wrong time period. I grew during the GameCube Double Dash period, which I think is actually a very good time period. And while other people who grew up with Mario Kart 64 would think this track is actually really good, in my opinion, I don't even know. I think the scenery in the background is more appealing than the road and the dirt that's on the track. I mean, this is definitely a desert, by the way that they're saying it. There's some advertisements on the wall that try and make the track a little bit more colorful, and the train can sometimes just get extremely annoying, especially in time trials when you're trying to go for a best time. But when you're running at the wrong time, then the train could just mess you up. Here I am trying to actually go. I've actually never gone through the entire train section before, so I want to see what it's like just going into the tunnel. Obviously I have this on fast forward right now, so this is kind of cool, but it's utterly useless. I wish they made it maybe like a little more useful, but then again, this is simply for exploration's sake. For those of you that like Calamari Desert for that reason, you go ahead and like it, but for me, I just don't. And once again, this is a highly controversial track. A lot of people like this track so much, but for me, I don't know if it's just because it comes right after Waluigi Pinball, or I've just had really bad memories with this track when I was playing Mario Kart DS as a kid, but I just never really liked Shroom Ridge. This is Shroom Ridge from Mario Kart DS. It's pretty much like Moonview Highway Jr. before Moonview Highway was actually Moonview Highway, and with some cars going back and forth, and you got some little hill sections that are actually a little jaggedy, and maybe it's just the game's physics, but you know, it's just kind of hard to turn in a few sections, and then I almost fell right there. That was almost embarrassing. And you're pretty much done with the lap right there. So as you can see, it's just a plain highway-ish type of track. Not really my favorite theme of track, so that's probably why it's down here at number 140. I just never really liked the track for, you know, the gameplay of it, and overall the cars, everything. I've never really liked the track. I don't know what else to say. There's like that one little shortcut on the right that I'm taking right now, but you really need 2 to 3 mushrooms to complete it. Other than that, it's just a standard track that I never just really liked. I just don't know what else to say. We're at number 139 right now, another N64 track. This is Frappe Snowland, or Frappe Snowland, you know, one or the other. You got the Ice Yoshi. It seems to be a theme with this. There's a lot of tracks that have the Yoshi statue, whether it's ice or desert or something. But anyways, you have that Ice Yoshi, and then you just got these snowmen that if you run into them, you fly up, like just like as if you got hit with a bomb or a spiny shell. Now you got a Mario statue right here. This is one of the first takes. This is probably like, it took me half a dozen tries just to avoid the snowmen. And then you could take those little bumps for a shortcut. But as you can see, it's just a plain white, flat, almost flat, just grounds area. And you know, unless you're playing it on like 150cc in a really fast GP, which makes it kind of fun, or in multiplayer, it's really not that enjoyable for me. Especially you got like that short bridge and all that kind of stuff. The only really cool thing about this track is that you got this, you know, kind of cool glitch that you get to do pretty much only in time trials, because if you try and do it in the Grand Prix mode, then you're pretty much screwed. You kind of have to boost yourself to the left, and then if you get out of bounds at the precise spot, I got it at this one part, but you know, not the other, so you could actually complete laps. And that is how that track works right there. You get number 138, another N64 track, obviously rightfully so, Sherbet Land. You know, after playing this track on the Wii and then going back to it on the N64, maybe that kind of downgraded my thoughts about this track, but I just don't really know. The more times I play this track, the less I'm enjoying it, especially as it's, you know, part of the Star Cup right after Wario Stadium. You're just entering, it looks just a bunch of polygons just, you know, shaped in an odd manner. I know this is the N64 processor and all that kind of stuff that you know, make the track look this way, but it's literally gray, and gray obviously symbolizes dullness, and you really can't get more boring than this track, and if you run into those penguins, they could be a huge problem. So you can fall real behind in this track. Obviously, it's kind of hard to control, especially after the first lap. So, you know, just looking into the distance and seeing that area, just the cave you're about to enter into, you think it might be something that's exciting, but no, just really nothingness. You're just entering a plain cave, nothing to enjoy yourself with. That's why I decided Sherbet Land has to be down here at 138. Anyways, we are entering number 137 with DS Yoshi Falls. We're going right into this track. It's just pretty much a plain circle with some waterfalls. I mean, the scenery is pretty nice with the giant Yoshi egg in the middle, but again, Mario Kart DS didn't really impress me with too many of their tracks. So I mean, this track's down here for its basic simplicity. I mean, I like simplicity in some of the tracks, but I mean, this track just kind of takes it way too far. It's just orange flat lands. I mean, it's pretty good for a Mushroom Cup track, but honestly, there has to be some tracks that are down here. There's hardly one shortcut that's probably slower than the normal route. I don't even know. And you have a couple of boost panels on the left side if you're going to take that, but besides that, that track, I don't know, it's just way too simple for my taste. Number 136, once again, kind of stylizing back to Yoshi Falls. You got Moo Moo Farm. It's pretty much the same reasons why I don't like Yoshi Falls as I don't like Moo Moo Farm that much. It's because of its supremely simplicity. It's just brown dirt on a land with some advertisements on the left. It's alright when you're playing it in the Grand Prix mode because it's kind of fun when you're trying to avoid, you know, red shows and green shows and bananas from the computer players and all that kind of stuff. But honestly, sometimes the Monty Monsters come up at a completely unexpected rate, and you're just going everywhere to try and avoid them when you're just trying to really go. This is one of those tracks where you're just trying to get over with, and you're just trying to bypass it because it's such an easy track to play. But, you know, sometimes it can be extremely frustrating when, you know, a Monty Mo comes out and hit you like that. So, honestly, besides those in that track, it's not really that great. We're entering number 135 with a couple tracks to go in this video. This is Ghost Valley 3. This track is honestly, it's alright if you're good at it, but it's pretty hard for me, you know, if you're kind of bad at it. I always hit that bricks on the right side when on every lap, and then if you hit them too many times, they're not coming back, so you could actually fall through the holes if you end up drifting into that same spot. And I find it hard to not be able to drift into the walls unless you're like braking and all that kind of stuff, but the Super Mario Kart physics are so hard to control that you can't just help yourself, but you have to hit the wall unless you're going to drift the other way. And honestly, the holes, Super Mario Kart is really unforgiving, because if you just go a little bit close to the edge, you could actually fall through a corner, and that could be really frustrating, especially with this level because it has so many corners. And playing with CPUs and all that kind of stuff, especially on 150cc, oh my god, it's so hard because there's so many bumping into and all that kind of stuff. And we're going to have to move on to the next track, even though I was just talking about Ghost Valley 3. But we are moving on to Rosalina's Ice Road from Mario Kart 7, the last Mario Kart 7 track in this video. And oh my god, I mean, okay, I love Rosalina so much. She's such an amazing character, but my god, Nintendo, what the heck did you do with this track? It's honestly, the ice physics on this track are just as bad as Sherbet Land. I mean, I know ice is supposed to be slippery and all that kind of stuff to make it difficult, but the track itself, it's just it kind of it has that Sherbet Land vibe because it has these, you know, the walls and the pillars are just super narrow and you can't really go anywhere. And yes, I'm about to fall right here. That I just didn't want to record this track again. That's how much I wanted to get done with recording this track. I hate it precisely. I do not know why. There's, you know, you got some nice scenery right at the start line, but that's about it. Besides that, you got one cool shortcut. I don't even know if I would consider it cool, because if you land wrong like I do, it's not even going to save any time because you're just going to be too busy riding up the walls and all that kind of stuff. And the first platform falls, kind of like Grumble Volcano physics right there, but we are ending that right there. Number 133 is Cheep Cheep Beach. Again, a Mushroom Cup track from Mario Kart DS. There's a lot of tracks from Mario Kart DS that I'm just not a big fan of. Maybe it's just because there's not too much detail in the track, but when playing them over and over again, you start to get a feel of what tracks you like and what tracks you don't like. So Cheep Cheep Beach, I mean, it's alright, but it's kind of a hard layout to memorize, and you have all these specific water areas that could extremely decelerate your kart at a rapid motion right there. As you saw, when you're going into the water, you kind of have no choice, because if you don't, you have to try and stay on a narrow path on the shore. And I guess I'm bad at drifting in Mario Kart DS, but besides that, if you're playing in a Grand Prix mode or online, if you used to play online in Mario Kart DS, then you know this track would be kind of difficult if you know you're trying to stay in first place and all that kind of stuff. But you know, for time trials it's alright, and sometimes the boost panel doesn't even feel that right, guys. There's just a lot of stuff wrong with that track that I just don't like. Number 132, this track, Moonview Highway, has been in all the first videos, the worst tracks videos. You thought it was going to get away. This is the last track of the video, Moonview Highway, number 132. No sir, I had to put this track on the list just because I wanted it to make the first video. I just despise Moonview Highway so much. By far it is my least favorite Mario Kart Wii track. Just the cars moving in opposite directions back and forth gives me that Toad's Turnpike vibe, which yes, it's supposed to do. It's got some okay scenery in the background. I mean, I like it. It's all that good stuff, but when you're playing online or when you're playing, you know, Grand Prix trying to go for the 3-star ranks and stuff, and then the cars are unexpectedly coming at your corner and then you get ran over by them, it is the most frustrating feeling in the world, because you know you're wasting precious time, and if you waste too much time getting hit by cars and getting penalized for your time, then your 3-star ranking could pretty much go down the drain. So that's not a good idea right there. Obviously cars could come from a surprise, and then like I said in my math video, this is pretty much shaped like a basic triangle where you just have to turn 60 degrees each turn. So it's not the most fun track, and as you could see, that is just gonna be my way to end the video right there, with just a perfect car shot to the face. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I will be back with the next set of Mario Kart tracks, and this has been G Willers signing out.